Good morning, everybody. I'm Larry Weishuhn. If you enjoy real-world hunting and fishing talk, you're really going to enjoy listening to my good friend Luke Clayton and his guest for the next hour.
This is Dustin Vaughn Warnke, producer of this fine show that's been airing for the past 20 years. Welcome to Outdoors with Luke Clayton and Friends. Luke has been a recognized outdoor writer for the past 4 decades and writes for a whole host of outdoor publications. Luke pens a weekly outdoors column that appears in over 50 Texas newspapers, and he's lived the outdoor lifestyle since childhood. Luke partners with such companies as Pyramid Air, the ultimate source for air guns and outdoor essentials, CVA muzzleloaders, and their fine line of CVA Cascade centerfire rifles, Smokin' Tex electric smokers, ATN thermal scopes and binoculars, the Choctaw Hunting Lodge in southeast Oklahoma, owned by the Choctaw Nation, Butcher Packer Supply, everything for the home butcher and sausage maker, the Dallas Safari Club at biggame.org, and the Saskatchewan Department of Tourism. Now, here's Luke to kick things off with his longtime friend, Larry Weishuhn.
Well, howdy, folks. It is your old buddy from Texas, Luke Clayton, and my buddy, Larry Weishuhn, is standing by. And we're going to visit with you a while, talk about hunting and maybe fishing. Who knows? Larry, thank you for being here with us, buddy.
Luke, always a pleasure. And as you saw, the DSC summer show that we had there at the Gaylord Texan, Grapevine, Texas, here about almost a weekend, I guess last weekend when you get right down to it, it was absolutely fabulous. And I'll tell you what, so was the support that we got for the DSC Foundation Gala that night of the 25th. And really want to thank all those folks who showed up, the folks you and I got to visit with while you were there as well, too. And, you know, what a great group. Of course, we had Stealth Vision there. They had their booth there. And Hornady was there. And we awarded Steve Hornady the Legacy Award that we present through the DSC Foundation that Saturday night as well too, and got to talk a little bit about Taurus with a bunch of people who really getting into handgun hunting. So you know, life was really pretty darn good when you got right down to it. That deal, we had a great time, raised money, and you know, last year DSC Foundation, where I serve as an advisor, we granted a little over $1.2 million, and I think we're going to be able to do something very similar this year, thanks to all the great donors and all the great bidders and buyers and the people that were there. So life was good, and life continues to be good.
Life is good. I like that. That's true. Yeah, I got to visit with a lot of folks there, and some folks I haven't seen in a long time. You know, Mr. Bobby Winfrey there with the Agara coffee. He was there with us and had his spot set up. You know, Larry, well, you know, but Bobby Winfrey that offers this coffee is called Agara. He came out to the house here, a couple weeks ago on a Sunday afternoon. And I set the video camera up, and I learned a lot about the coffee. I'd heard so much good stuff about the Agara coffee from you, but I'd never tried it. Well, he brought me some out, and we heated some water outside on the I would say campfire is really a propane burner, but it kind of looked like a campfire. Yeah, and poured it up on that. It's an instant coffee, but it's got lion's mane and all that. And he called it beneficial coffee. I'll tell you what. So we filmed that, and it's already on our TV show called A Sportsman's Life. You can watch, and I would like people to do that because Bobby went in depth talking about the benefits from this coffee. But it has lion's mane and 5 or 6 different additives, or natural things that are good for the body. I've been drinking this stuff now for every day for a couple of weeks, and all I would say to someone is to give it a try. I won't sing all the praises. I like people to try it themselves, but this stuff has helped me in several ways. It's like a health drink in your coffee. But yeah, go to YouTube and search out A Sportsman's Life. A lot of people do, but even more people go to Carbon TV, carbontv.com, folks, and look under recent videos. You'll see it there. But Larry, Bobby did a great job telling about the coffee. It's hugely popular now. I had just never tried it until he brought it out. But yeah, he was there, and I bet a lot more people are sipping that Agara coffee right now. You know?
You know what? They really are. And if they want to learn more about it, particularly from him, they can go to Agara Life/Bobby's Better Life on the I guess it's I'll take that back, agaralife.com/Bobby's Better Life, and they can get it there. But you're right. I mean, I came off of the extremely successful Texas Wildlife Association convention, and then almost immediately after just barely a rest, went to the DSC summer show and the summer event. And I'll tell you what, there's not a whole lot of sleep and all that kind of stuff, but that seemed to really, really help as far as I was concerned, and particularly in a lot of different ways. So I can't wait to start really drinking it, or continue drinking, I guess, during the hunting season, because it sure made me pay a little bit more attention than what I have been doing here lately. So
I know.
Look forward to more of that. But, that show was so good, and we had so many great outfitters there, and so many great companies there, and people had an opportunity to book hunts and all those other kind of great things, and see all the great products, and really visit with folks as well too. That, to me, I'm so glad we've got this show going on for DFC there
close
in at home, if you will.
You bet.
But you mentioned Stealth Vision. Those guys were there and had a great time in terms of vision with Doc and Joe both. But also, the one guy that's very involved there a lot of times, who was not there, was Matt Burgess. Now, Matt, among other things, is involved in so many different things and has been for a long time. But as you well know, he's got an outfit called Dispatch Hunts. And that Dispatch Hunts is a booking agent kind of in a way, but all the guys involved with it, they're the ones who actually pretty much do the hunts, or accompany people on hunts and all those other kind of good things. And of course, he offers hunts not just here in North America, but all over the world. But it's places that these guys have been and go to with regularity. So you might want to tell him, I know that you've spent some time visiting with him not very long ago on the radio show, but also which turned into the podcast. And then I've done the same with him on my DSC's Campfires weekly podcast as well too. But you might want to tell him a little bit, some of the things that you and he talked about as well too.
Yeah. Matt Burgess and like Larry said, dispatchhunts.com. Larry, I have not a ton of people, but in the course of a year, I'll have 20 or 30 people contact me through my newspaper column or something, and ask about, where would I go to hunt this or do that?
Right.
Sometimes I can point them in the right direction. I can put them right there. I've started, when they say, actually recently, I got a couple of calls here in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and where can I go hunting for this? Well, Matt says it's a worldwide thing, and Matt is a premier guide. I think of a hunting guide, I think of Matt Burgess, because he's been all over the world guiding people, Alaska, all over. And so I send them there, and he says, everything from pheasant hunts in the Dakotas to bear hunts, grizzly, whatever, they are hooked up. But it's like you say, it's not like a booking well, I guess they are in a sense, that's what they do. But it's not just some old boy on a computer hooking people up with something they don't know about. These guys, they're premier guides. I'll tell you something else. Well, you know this, Larry, but you've got your own line of signature knives out that are absolutely awesome. They're carrying your knives now. It's on the website, but they also have a whole line of knives, and they have had for a while. Dispatchhunts.com. And click on knives, right?
Absolutely. Like I've had the privilege of knowing Matt now for a while, and have met his family and all that kind of thing. But I'll tell you what, these guys are doing a fabulous job. And if it sounds like somewhat of a commercial, you can kind of take it that way.
That's okay.
Want to.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, folks that know Luke and me know that unless somebody really does what they say they're going to do and even do more, you don't hear about it from us, but these guys truly do. So if you're looking for a hunt, if you're at DSC, and that's also a great place to go, and Matt will be there in the future as well too. But if you're looking for a place to go hunt, I'd strongly recommend Matt's outfit, Dispatch Hunts. So I've got a couple of hunts lined up with him here in not too very distant future, and I'm hooking him up with some of the folks that I hunt with over in Europe as well too. And so, they're the go-to people as far as I'm concerned.
They can put you where you want to be. That's right, Larry. Well, we've got here. It is. It's already August now, by golly, and it's a month from now, hunting season's going to be here. Early September for doves. And I went last year just because it was the opener of dove season.
Absolutely.
Here by the house. And I had my eye on there's a field of Milo out there, about probably 40 acres, and a fence line and the pond was on the other side. I had it all figured out. There was a bunch of birds in there. They hadn't even cut the grain at that point. And it started raining about 2 or 3 days before. And I went out, and it cleared up and everything opening day, and I shot 2 dove. But I was dove hunting, by golly. And I was out there, had a good time. I actually wrapped them in bacon and cooked them, if you can believe that. Yeah. Larry, one other thing I want to tell you and our friends. On this A Sportsman's Life, on the show that aired probably last week, but it is there. It's the one where Bobby Winfrey and myself, where we were there doing the Agara thing.
Right.
I cooked smoked some turkey breast, and
yes.
I cooked and showed it how to marinate it and all that. Wild turkey. It was a turkey that I took up with Bill Carey this spring in April. But that is good. A lot of people don't, and it's challenging cooking wild turkey sometimes, but that turned out so good. I'm bringing some on our fishing trip up at Texoma. We're going to be snacking on some of that stuff.
I like that. We got that one coming up pretty quickly.
Real quick.
One of the things we do need to remind people of as we get into August. Now, here in Texas, your hunting and fishing license ends for the year on August 31st. Other states are different, but as we head into the fall hunting seasons, be sure to get that hunting license, fishing license taken care of before you get out there, because we all love our game wardens, but we don't want to have them visit us and say, sir or ma'am, this hunting or fishing license is not valid. So remember to renew your hunting and fishing license, folks.
That's a good point. Well, Larry, thanks a lot for being with me. I will say this. I had 5 or 6, 7 or 8, I don't know, quite a few people talking about listening to us in Brownwood or up in the Panhandle.
Oh, yeah.
Catfish Radio, and that makes me feel good all the time when that was at the show there that folks I was visiting with. So I think people have enjoyed our casual visits. And I'll leave. We're about to run out of time for this week, but folks, if you listen to Larry long, I wish everyone had the privilege of being around a real campfire with Larry Weishuhn. You can hear some good stories, and I'll throw in a comical one every now and then myself, Larry. Oh, thank you so much for being with us, Larry, and folks, thanks for listening. Let's take a little break. We'll come back and have some more outdoor talk. Well, friends, Mr. Larry Weishuhn is going to tell you about the finest hunting optics that we have ever found.
Look, these are called Stealth Vision. They come from Crockett, Texas. Dr. John McCall developed them. They're 34 millimeter tubes as opposed to the narrower tubes, so more light transmission. They have a little green light that comes on. That scope is leveled because that's when you want to pull the trigger. They have an optional lighted reticle as well too, and a whole lot of other products. And folks can learn more about them by going to stealthvision.com.
you enjoy hunting, I want to hook you up with Ultramatic Feeders. You need to know about this company. The website is ultramaticfeeders.com. They are a one-shop stop for everything you need with hunting blinds. They have all kind of different brands of hunting blinds, game feeders, parts for feeders. Again, the website is ultramaticfeeders.com. And friends, I've been using Smoking Tex electric smokers for over 15 years, probably closer to 20 years. You can go online to smokingtex.com. They're not one of your throwaway electric smokers that you can find at some package stores. These things are made to last. I've got one that I've been using for, well, that length of time, probably 15 years. Check them out online, smokingtex.com. Well, friends, we are back with Mr. Whitetail. Larry Weishuhn still with me. Larry, you know, we talked a whole bunch about what's coming up, but the fact is, now's the time to get out at the deer leases right now, and see what's going on with antler development. These bucks, they'll show you about what they're going to be, and you know, trail cameras are a good way, but it's also a good time just to get out there and get up real early, set in those stands, or get you a good vantage point and get you some binoculars and see what's going on out there, isn't it? You know?
Absolutely. You get you one of those great spotting scopes and binoculars at Stealth Vision.
Dang right.
But, you know, I'll tell you what, you're right, Luke. We're at the stage right now where pretty much these antlers are developed, and I'm talking about they're no longer bulbous at the top. There's a few places, you know, at the tips where they're still growing, but for the most part, they're starting to getting pointed at the tips, which means that they're finished growing, and now those antlers start hardening. And it's a great time to get out there right now. I know a lot of folks run trail cameras and all that kind of good stuff, but to me, I like getting out there and actually seeing the deer, because so very often right now these bucks are still in bachelor herds, and so you'll get to see a lot of them at one point. I mean, I've seen bachelor herds from anywhere from 3 animals to as many as 20 or 30 sometimes, depending on where you are. But to me, this is such a great time to get out there and do that. And two, right now, too, if you can find those deer now, unless the food source changes dramatically, that's pretty much where you're going to find those deer come that first week or two of October when we start hunting during the bow season or the MLD season here in Texas. And so to me, when you're looking for one big buck and you find that big buck, the best time, as a lot of people know, is that first opportunity that you get a chance to get a shot at them. And that generally amounts to bow season in so many different places, because after that rut gets started, those deer allowed to scatter all over the place, and that buck that you're hunting may be 10 miles away.
That's right.
So
that's right.
Yeah, right now is a great time to get out there. And also, you know, I mentioned food sources. Right now is a great time to get out there and look to see what trees on your oaks have acorns, and that'll be a good place to start once those acorns start falling, because they're going to go to the acorns no matter what you got out on the ground for a bait or anything else.
You bet. You know, Larry, I'm a rabid hog hunter. I've got to start collecting some pork for our get-together in September at the Dallas Safari Club. You and I are going to host an evening of sitting around the campfire with the folks there at the Dallas Safari Club there in Dallas. I think is where we're going to be. But I'm in the pork procurement mode right now.
I like that.
Yeah, I want to tell you about you and our friends about something that I've just discovered that I think is noteworthy. A gentleman, a new friend of mine, Anthony Tew, T-E-W, and his wife, Carrie. They have been in the business of making netting for golf courses. You know, if you drive by a roadway on a golf course, there's a high netting fence, and then places like Top Golf and all that, they have a netting material. Well, Anthony is a serious hunter. And they have decided, this has been going on a while, it's not brand new, but they have developed a hog trap using their netting that they make. That's what the company's done for years, and they've designed it. The premise is not new. There's been others around. There are others around, you know. But the material that they use is kind of new to the market, I think. But basically T-post, a few T-posts, drive them in the ground, stake off a radius point and swing your circle around, lay out your T-post, drive them in the ground, and hook this netting on it. So anybody, they're making an affordable trap that anybody can order, and 30 minutes you can set it up. But basically what happens once you get your netting set around this perimeter here, we'll say, you raise it up in the not the trap mode, but you raise it up off the ground, feed up under there heavy. Well, these hogs, you know what a hog's going to do when he can see all the way under that trap.
Absolutely.
And get in there and start chowing down on that corn for two or three nights and monitor what's going on. You don't have to have a cell phone activated expensive drop door. You know what I'm saying on that. So let it go, and then when you get ready to trap them, go ahead and lower the netting, and there's a flap, for lack of a better term, underneath there. Those hogs come up there at night. They've been eating that corn for 2 or 3 nights.
They're going to go to it.
They're going to stick that nose under there, and they're going to under the edge of the trap. So it's like a minnow trap, if you can picture that. Like I say, the premise is not new. What's new is their design with this material, and the affordability of it. They've talked. I'm keen on this stuff, but they'll walk. Those hogs will get under there, and you know how hogs are. They'll usually approach something from one spot anyway. They trickle a little corn under that bottom of that netting there, and they said it's not absolutely necessary, but that leads them right on in.
Oh yeah.
And instead of trapping, you get one hog in there. Well, the rest of the sounder come up, looking and seeing that hog eating. You can catch them all. So it's designed for the guy that's got a hunting lease or a farm or where I live, few acres where hogs come periodically. It's a pretty good idea, and we'll tell folks how to check it out. It's called the PIG, and that PIG stands for some words that I can't remember. But the website is thepighogtrap.com. thepighogtrap.com. But got a good website. I just thought I'd throw that in there. August is also a good time to get some pork together, isn't it, Larry? You know?
It is. And we'll just remind people that is going to be September the 17th at the DSC office there in north part of Dallas, up there close to Farmers Branch where you used to work, and up close to Addison. And and invite people to come out for that, and they can learn more about that by either calling the office. But the best way is to just go to the website and get the number there, and that's biggame.org. And come by and see Luke and I, and actually we're going to have some pork that you're created for us, and Mr. Steve Hornady donated a bunch of buffalo meat that he shot on a buffalo hunt up there at the Choctaw when I was up there with him, and so we're going to have buffalo burgers and pork, and gosh, who knows what else.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Then we'll just get to visit with people, and I may tell people about a hog hunt years ago that turned into an alligator adventure. Larry, thank you for coming back with us. We always have such a good time, and I have people comment. I don't guess there's another outdoor show quite like what we do. But I'll tell you, friends, you listen to Mr. Whitetail a little bit, you'll learn a thing or two, and we do. We try to cover the gamut, and maybe talk about some stuff that doesn't get talked about a lot. But I've had some good comments at these shows about our visits together each week, Larry, and I appreciate you being with us,
Always a pleasure, and I'm already looking forward to next week.
All right. Well, next week it will be. Folks can tune back in. We'll be right here with them next week. Folks, I'll tell you what let's do. Let's take a little break. We'll come back with some more outdoor talk. What do you say? Friends, if you have a pond that you're contemplating stocking, I want to connect you with Arkansas Pond Stockers. Now, the website is arkansaspondstalkers.com. You can go on the website, you can call them and find out when they're going to be in your neck of the woods, and you can schedule a pickup, whatever type of fish you want to stock. Again, that website is arkansaspondstalkers.com.
Big Sam left Seattle in the year of 92. with George Pratt, his partner, and brother Billy too. They crossed the
Friends, this segment is made possible by Platinum Cadillac and Chevrolet in Terrell, Texas. Stop by and visit with my buddy Mr. Justin Rudd and his team of experts and let them put you in a new Chevy pickup or a Cadillac or whatever you might be in the market for. Also, the Choctaw Hunting Lodge up in southeast Oklahoma. Check them out at ChoctawHuntingLodge.com. Also made possible by Pyramid Air, your one-stop shop for everything airgun related. Welcome back, my friends. We've had a good time here the first half visiting with our buddy Larry, talking hunting and all kind of stuff. You know that feeling you get before you go out on an adventure, a hunting or fishing trip? That's the way old Luke feels right now. I'm about to embark here tomorrow on a trip up to beautiful Lake Texoma. I'm going to go striper fishing with Mr. Bill Carey, one of his top guides, Larry Weishuhn, and Jeff Rice. We're going to have a holiday, so I thought it'd be appropriate to get Bill with us today, talk a little striper fishing. Bill, welcome to our show, as you have been here many, many times in the past, haven't you?
Well, good morning, Luke, and all y'all out in radio land.
How many times have you been a guest on Catfish Radio?
Oh, we go back a long time. brother.
We do. No, Bill, I'm very pumped. You know, this is one of my favorite times to fish at Texoma. I don't know if it's a challenge. I like it in the fall, the winter, the spring. All the seasons have their highlights, I'd say. But the summer, when the schooling action's going on, and years back, it was always, you know, those runs that would start down at Eisenhower down there and go all the way up the lake, many different schools of fish. But that used to be the program. But you're telling me now that that happens, but it's widespread now over many areas that, you know, like a decade ago, it didn't happen, that schooling action, right?
Yeah, it was typically, I called it Striper Alley, from Eisenhower up to the mouth of Little Mineral, and then the big Alberta run up the Washita River, and then we had a school we called the TI school, and it was traditionally that. But we've got so much bait, you can find fish. You got to keep your eyes open anywhere on the lake, because the fish will go for the bait. The bait can be everywhere. But I've been saying that now for a few years. But, you know, right now, though, for the last couple weeks, the Eisenhower, Striper Alley, and Washita have been it. So we're going to see a boat show here in a few days.
Boy. Well, that'll be like old times, because, folks, Bill and I are going back fishing with Striper Express and Bill back in the day. I can remember that Striper Alley, that run where you get out there, and we're going to be leaving early, daylight, and we're going to get out there. I like that idea, Bill, is getting there this time of the year. I mean, at 11 o'clock, that sun is cranking up. But by then, we're back at the dock with a bunch of fish and the fillet knives, right? You know.
Oh, you betcha. Yeah, I run a special this time of year. A campaign. It's called Too Hot to Fish. Not the way we do it. We board the port at 5:30 a.m., run 10 miles up the lake, start looking for fish. Maybe make it 20 miles to the dam or up the Washita. Get on Topwater for an hour, 90 minutes. Yeah. And then they sound. That means they go down, but they stay grouped up on these huge schools of fish. So you follow them with electronics and you rip slabs, which I know Luke Clayton loves to do. And you'll get about 90 minutes of that, and you'll be catching. It'll be 9:30, 10 o'clock. You'll be catching, and then you won't. And what's going on is it's over. The striper has shut down. Now, I've had to add something in here in the last couple of years. We have got a massive population of Magnum sand bass.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I used to tell kids on the way in, a 20-mile run back, I'd say, hey, if you see a bird, if you see a swirl, if you see anything on the bank, let me know. And I always joked to my guides in the early spring when those sand bass are pregnant, I say, hey, if you got plenty of stripers, let them females go, because they will save you on a day where you made a wrong turn in July and you missed it because you're fighting the clock from the minute you go out.
Yep.
And so 9:30, 10, it's over. Wind in your face, back to the marina, take pictures, have your guide clean your catch, shake hands, and go find some air because you won't know it's warm till you hit land, and it's warming up fast. It'll be about 11 a.m.
Yep, exactly.
And
right.
I call that mission accomplished.
You bet. You know, there's all kind of topwater bites. I mean, there's the blind casting, which happens has already happened, where you're just in an area that you know is holding stripers,
Right.
and you're blind casting. You may not see a swirl. You might not, but you're just in an area that you know from past experiences. Your guides know there's a bunch of stripers in here, but this you can right now you can see them. You can see the swirls. You can see the water frothing, and anybody can say, "Hey, wait a minute, that's feeding fish right there." But it's something exciting about pulling up and seeing a bunch of swirls. And you were telling, and then throwing those topwater plugs on them. You were telling me, Bill, that a lot of over 20-inch fish, actually, that's kind of a prevalent deal. Really, there's a lot of those good ones, bigger ones, right?
Yep. Now, we just had 5 days of some cool cloud-covered weather, which made it just fantastic.
Yep.
Yesterday was the first day it burned off, and the fishing was tricky. They caught dinks. But I watched my guide text. There's 12 of us on this thread, and they go, "I got to leave this. I'm looking for boxfish." So that means that they've been catching overs the whole time. You got to release them. You're allowed. This is different up here, folks. We have twice the state limit of 10 fish per person. That is including 2 20-inchers or as long as your leg. That's our brood stock. That's ones that reproduce. So you get 5 people on the boat. You got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 20-inchers, and then you gotta start releasing them.
Yep.
And you start looking for, box fish, because these are great fish to eat, folks. We harvest these fish. I said that one time, and Jimmy Houston cackled, and he said, "That sounds like an ESPN term, but these fish are here to harvest, and they're darn good chow."
Oh, they are. I think striped bass are probably the most versatile fish. That there is. You can cook them any way you want to. I love them. I've yet to have stripers prepared right that I didn't enjoy. One of my favorite ways on stripers is blackening. Love that, and it's simple, easy. Anybody can do it. But I also, which is a way that I only do stripers, is to bake them, or broil them with butter and sweet basil. I like to put dried basil, a lot of it, on there, and a little garlic powder and salt and pepper. Stripers are.
Yeah, but that blackened recipe of yours, I got to brag about it. Folks, I have not fried a fish for myself since Luke taught me about 5 years ago his blackened recipe. It's not the traditional dry skillet.
No.
It's butter with the fillets in there, and with good old Tony Satri's blackened seasoning. Oh, folks, it doesn't even stink up the house.
No, you're doing it outside. Yeah, I use the Backwoods blackening, which you can get at Cabela's.
That's what I buy.
It's called Backwoods blackening seasoning. That's what I use, and it's not too salty. I think a lot of them, when you're blackening fish, a lot of it is way too. I've made the mistake years ago when I first started blackening fish, using some of it, and it's just way too salty. But
you got to be careful. Yes.
The Bass Pro Shops, the Cabela's brand called Backwoods, and it's cheaper. It comes in a big old shaker. That's what you want to use. And then, squirt a little lemon juice or fresh lemon, or just buy the fake lemon. Yeah, that's
so good.
And a lot of people, you think about fried fish, usually think about crappie or catfish, but stripers cut into those nuggets, like they fried. To me, that's as good as fish get, really. So.
Oh yeah, we fry catfish for people, and we used to fry the catch.
Yep.
And then guys told me, these corporate groups, they said, we want to take our fish home. I said, no problem. We started getting catfish. And one day, Ramrod of the group said, hey, do me a favor. These are turkey pants now. He said, pull me one bag of fish out, about 7 pounds. And he said, fry that up. Just walk around, pass it around the place when you're feeding us.
Mm-hmm.
I said, here's what you're going to have when you take home, boys. And, well, I'm going to talk about your contest. Luke ran a contest on Facebook. He said, no, I don't want to know what your favorite to catch is. I want to know what your favorite to eat is. And I never saw the finish. And, a month later at Rendezvous, Luke said, did you see the answer to that? And I went, no. And he said, it was striped bass. And I said, and so it should be.
That's right. You don't appreciate the bounty that we have with striped bass here on Texoma till you go up to New England states up there. And I've been there and ordered. I didn't order it. It was too. You could buy lobster. You could buy lobster cheaper. But striped bass is a commercial fish up the Eastern Seaboard, and yeah, man, they've got a pricey tag on those things. But
I saw it here once, and it surprised me.
Yeah.
I saw striped bass here, and it was $20 a pound.
Ooh, you can buy hybrid stripers, which are farm raised.
Right.
You can buy those here in Texas at a lot of Asian fish markets have them.
Yep.
But yeah,
we love talking about eating and cooking, though.
Every time we start, the bottom line is, as far as the fishing tip or the fishing report, get to Texoma, get out at daylight, and get down there around Eisenhower. That's just common knowledge. It's nothing.
Yeah, call me, I'll tell you.
Or call Bill Carey. We're going to leave his number, and striperexpress.com. Get out there, get you some slabs, and get you some pencil poppers or the Chapo, some of those that I like, and some topwaters, and get with it. And make sure you got a good sharp fillet knife when you get back to the dock.
Right. And number one tip, folks, on that topwater, there's nothing more exciting. Most people miss it the first time, and you got incoming rounds. Let the fish pull back before you set the hook. You'll feel it, and you don't have him hooked, and it comes back too fast. Let him pull and then rip some lips, and the fight is on. But wait till you feel the pull.
There's not a better tip that you could give people, Bill. That's a fact. It's I had a guy, Johnny Procell, years ago. He's passed away now, but Johnny was a good friend. He always said, well, Luke, it's normal. We'd be fishing topwaters. He said, when the fish pulls, it's human nature to pull back. But just wait till you feel him pulling before you put some pressure on that rod. Bill, we're about out of time, buddy. People can contact you, striperexpress.com.
You bet.
How about if they want to call and talk to you and get some?
You bet.
Future, yeah.
Our number is 903-786-4477. That's 903-786-4477.
Well, Bill, I look forward to you tomorrow morning. We're going to be there with bells on, and we're going to have some fun. How about that?
Let's go get them.
Folks, I want to tell you about one of my long-term partners, and that is Pyramid Air. The website is pyramidair.com. They're a one-stop shop for everything airgun related. Big bores, little bores, PCP guns, springers, you name it. All different brands, some great airgun supplies, but also a whole lot more. Archery, ammo, optics, shooting and outdoor gear, action sports, all this stuff can be found right there and ordered through Pyramid Air. So remember, go online to pyramidair.com.
The snowflakes fall as winter comes, and time just seems to fly.
Friends, I've been shooting and hunting with CVA muzzleloaders a long time. They are, in my opinion, the best muzzleloaders on the market. But did you know CVA also makes a very fine line of centerfire rifles, built to last and super accurate? Been hunting with those for several years. Check them both out, the muzzleloaders and the centerfires, online at cva.com. Folks, I want to introduce you to some good friends of mine at Dash for Cash Pawn Shop in Seagoville, Texas, located at 133 Hall Street. The phone number is 972-287-3121. go by there and talk with Gary or Randy, the owner. They're great people. They've got some great prices. Again, that's the Dash for Cash Pawn Shop, Seagoville, Texas, 972-287-3121. Well, friends, chances are good. If you have a hunting lease, you might own some land. Down in Texas, we call them stock tanks. Up in East Texas, where I was raised, I call them ponds. But you might want to be thinking about stocking some fish for this fall, or right, actually later this month. Now, we're going to visit now with Mr. Tyler Denton. Tyler is with Arkansas Pond Stockers up in Arkansas. And we're going to learn some things and some stuff that might help you if wherever you're listening, if you might be contemplating stocking some fish. So, Tyler, I apologize for that long, lengthy intro, but that's who you are, and you guys have been stocking fish a long time, haven't you?
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me, Luke.
bet.
Yeah, we've been in business for 30 years, and we've been going to Texas just as long.
I know. I've seen you through the many, many years. Of course, I didn't have a relationship with you guys, but I knew who you were for a long time. The premise that it works, stocking a pond, well, you could hire a company and you can spend a lot of money. I won't, that's just a fact. But you guys have information that people would need to know that stock fingerlings into their ponds, what type and all that. And then you make routes, and you have a route coming up in Texas later this month, but people could take advantage of that right now. But, there's routes that you take, and it really saves people a lot of money and gets fingerlings in their pond at the same time, doesn't it?
Yes, sir. That's correct. So, there is a place for having, a fisheries biologist come out.
Oh, yeah.
And, if you got a huge lake and you really want your pond to be, or your lake to be the best that it can be, then, yeah, it's great to have a fisheries biologist and, a bunch of equipment and stuff. But, a lot of people we've found over the last 30 years, they just want to have a fairly decent pond to have fun with their family. So that's where we come in. We serve 21 states, just depending on the year, at over 600 locations. And yeah, we're going to be in Texas starting August the 25th. That whole week we'll be in Texas on the east side around the Dallas area down to San Antonio and Houston.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's a whole lot of fish that we sell in Texas. We've been going there for 30 years, and we love to visit every time we can.
Yep. Well, people are listening, of course, to a podcast, and a lot of folks are listening in the South and Southeast, but some folks, maybe in North Dakota or Maine, they couldn't benefit from this, but a whole bunch of people could. So let's just say, and I have a friend within a quarter of a mile of my house that I get to fish in his lake. It's an old gravel sand pit, and it's spring fed. It's not real deep. It's probably 15 foot at the deepest. But, say you want to stock that with whatever, catfish or bass. Well, then the way it would work, say I wanted to do that this month. Well, then I would go to, the first place I would recommend, ArkansasPondStockers.com. And
yes,
they
sir,
can learn
absolutely.
a lot right there, couldn't they?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're actually relaunching our website soon. It's going to have a lot of great information. You'll be able to look up where we're going to be, what date and time, do reservations, all that good stuff. But chances are, if you're listening to this show right now, we've got a stop coming up near you either this summer or this fall. So if you're within an hour of one of our stops, then all you have to do is show up at the date and time, get your fish. It'll be in a strange looking fish balloon, basically, with water and pure oxygen. And then just take it to your pond and release your fish. For an acre pond, you're going to spend less than $1,000 to get it fully stocked.
Yeah. So there would be like a feed store or whatever, different businesses, and you'll be there on a Saturday at 11 o'clock or whatever, and that's
correct.
And then how would I know? I could call, couldn't I? I call and get the schedule and say I do live in Kaufman County, and I think a feed store named Cordell's is one that you have stocked in the past. But I would call and say, where will you be? What's the closest place? Would that be the way to find out where and when to be somewhere to meet you?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You can call us. We've got a lot of free advice we can give you about what to stock and when to stock it. And you just we actually will be in Kaufman at T-Bar T
Yeah.
August 25th. Yep. So,
Okay. Yeah.
yep.
Now, what date is that? The 25th?
That is Tuesday, August the 25th. We will be there from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Okay.
Come see us. Come say hi.
Yeah. I'll try to get by there. Will you be there, or do you know? I know it's.
I probably won't be there, but Mr. Jacob Vest is one of our drivers, and he would love to see you.
I might come by and visit just a little bit. You bet. So that's it. Now, okay, so I know a little bit about. I've actually stocked some ponds years and years ago. Think I want to catch crappie. I do know this: you can oversupply your pond with crappie if you're not careful. Right? If you're stocking,
it's very easy. Yeah. If you have the time to pay attention to a smaller pond, then crappie is definitely an option. We generally recommend that you have at least 3 acres to do it, but there have been so many times, so many instances where our customers have grown black crappie in a smaller pond, and they've come out with some monsters. So it's very doable,
right.
But just make sure that you have the time to maintain it.
That's it. Now, of course, the name of our show is Catfish Radio. Tyler, a lot of people think that's all I fish for. I was up at Texoma doing a newspaper article just yesterday with Bill Carey and Striper Express up there. But I love catfish. I do. And I do think catfish might be one of the easier. They're hardy. They're very hardy.
Without a doubt.
No question.
Yeah.
And if you put some catfish in a impoundment, and maybe put a feeder. I mean, if they have questions like that, well, can I just stock catfish? Do I need to put fingerling bait fish in there too? That's the type of stuff you can work with them. And, I really think if you didn't have any fish in a pond, I might be wrong, and you had pellets and you fed those catfish, I mean, you could start off and have a good catfish fishery right there, couldn't you?
Yeah, it's essential with the catfish setup like that to make sure that you feed train them correctly and get them plenty of food, because one thing about catfish, if you're not careful, they will eat you out of house and home. But if you're trying to grow big ones, that's the way to go. You can, of course, supplement with smaller forage fish. You could do fathead minnows. It never hurts to have some bluegill in there as well, just to have them a little bit of diversity in their feed. But it is absolutely possible to have a small impoundment, like a 1/4 acre, and grow nothing but catfish in it if you feed correctly.
Yeah, I've seen it done. Here's a question too, Tyler. Say the species of catfish. The say a native wild channel cat that come out of a river and into a lake. Okay, are the fish that you stock, are they hybrids catfish, or how does that work?
Oh no, these are true blue channel catfish. We raise them in Arkansas. We work with partner farms in Arkansas to hatch them every year and move them into other states. But we don't do any sort of hybrids as far as catfish. We have had blues in the past, but most of the time we just stick with your real deal channel cats.
Yeah, okay. And we mentioned hybrids. Hybrid stripers are a fish that I know for a fact that it can do well in ponds. But do you get many demands for them, or do you stock those?
We have some customers that ask for them. You're exactly correct in that, they will grow up in ponds. It's not their ideal conditions, and it's really hard for them to spawn and that sort of thing, and almost impossible, in fact. But it's funny to see like a huge 10-pound striper, or a hybrid striper in a pond. Get a customer just said, like, hey, look what I've pulled out of my 1.5-acre pond. It's always fun to see a hybrid striper.
And just imagine the fish that rascal is eating to get that big, though.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're looking at I mean, I know for at least largemouth bass, you need about 10 pounds of forage for a bass to grow 1 pound. I imagine it's pretty similar for a stripe.
Yeah, I bet you about the same. So you're going to be in Texas the end of this month, which is August. What would you? I mean, would you be stocking largemouth bass and catfish and bait fish? What all of that, I guess, or
yeah, we're going to have the full complement. We're going to have regular bluegill, hybrid bluegill, channel catfish, largemouth bass. We'll have black crappie. We're probably the only people hauling black crappie right now. Mm-hmm. And then we do carry some other specialty things, but for the most part, we stick to those, that core group of fish that just everybody needs in their ponds.
Yeah.
But for, custom, we also do custom deliveries. We work with fisheries biologists across these 20 states to transport the fish that they need for their jobs as well. So we can get just about anything that you want to get and put it into your pond. Like I just delivered 900 pounds of golden shiners to a homeowners association here recently. That's not something that we typically carry, but we do special deliveries all the time, so we're not just limited to that.
You bet. Well, Tyler, I have some good friends that are fisheries biologists. This is not a cut on that. That's a great profession, and when you need them, you need them. But this is an option here. These folks, they've been doing this a long time. So if you happen to have a spot that you want to just invest some funds in and do it on your own with their instructions, I think it's the way to go. Tyler, I guess ArkansasPondStalkers.com, right? That's how they learn more?
That's correct, and we got a shorthand for it too that's working now, or it will be by the time this show airs. It'll be pondstalkers.com, just PONDSTOCKERS.com.
Easy to remember. Well, I want to get you back from time to time, and I'm going to be reminding folks, about Arkansas Pond Stalkers, and in case somebody didn't hear it one week, maybe they'll hear it the next. But it is definitely a service a lot of people can use. So, Tyler, thank you for your time and your expertise, buddy, and full speed ahead.
Thanks for having me, Luke. Yeah, I'll come back anytime you want me.
Friends, I hope you've enjoyed our show. This is our 20th year to be doing Catfish Radio, and I enjoy doing it now probably more than I did when I first began. It's lots of fun every week. But I want to tell you about a destination, one of my favorite destinations, and it's the Choctaw Hunting Lodge. It's up in southeast Oklahoma, maybe an hour north of Paris. I don't think it's that far, but it's an awesome place. You can go online to ChoctawHuntingLodge.com and check it out. Beautiful lodge there, trophy deer hunting on thousands of acres of Choctaw tribal land up there. It's just, if you ever go up there, you will return. A lot of eastern turkey in that part of the country, and probably our closest destination for many Texans to have a real chance to kill an eastern turkey. So that's got that going on. Exotic hunting, hog hunting. If you're an outdoor person, you'd love a visit there at the Choctaw Hunting Lodge. Folks, we are out of time. Make sure and tune in next week and be safe in the outdoors.